So this is our bead making video. I'm just gonna get right to it. Here we go. Okay, so first you want to roll out a coil and try to make it even. You can make it as thick or thin as you want. I like to start in the middle and kind of roll my way to the edges. Okay, so now I'm going to use the ruler so I can cut these all the same size. Try to get these the same size. I'm gonna go, let's just try 1/4 of an inch. Okay, we've just got a nice little piece. Roll it around in your palm. Okay, so it's like a perfect little circle. Then with your needle tool, we need to make the hole. So we're gonna go in. Once I feel it on my finger, you might see it starting to poke through. Now I'm gonna take it out and come in this way. And that's just gonna make a really nice clean hole. Kind of wiggle it through, push it through. Now, that's essentially it. So you can let this dry for about 30 minutes. If you want to make a lot of these, you might go and get some wooden skewers. So you can just do it like this, and then you can just set it aside and keep making them. You'll need 1 skewer per bead. And then you can just get whatever kind of setup to hold these. So you can use a box. Let's see here. And you can just poke a hole in it, just like that. Or you could pre-poke your holes and just stick it, and it's pretty easy, but you need to come get it off of this in about 30 minutes or else it's gonna crack. And you can use a little bit of water to just kind of refine. Or a barely damp sponge. So after 30 minutes, it's stiffened up. Just take it off. There you go. Nice little tiny bead. And so you can use a ruler to make like 1/4 inch and then bump it up 1/2 inch and then bump it up 3/4 of an inch, so you can have like beads that get bigger slowly. I don't know how else to say it, but I think you get the idea. So pretty easy stuff. It might take you a few tries to get it perfectly round. If I were you, I would just make a ton. In clay, we always make extra because it's just the nature of clay that some will crack, some might not be glazed nicely. So if I was making a necklace with 20 beads on it, I would probably make 30 beads. So I'm just using my needle tool to make the hole, but wooden skewers work nice. And then you can just stick it into a box and let it dry like that, or you can go this route. And skewers are longer, so they'll fit the span of this. But say this is my skewer, you just set it there so that you don't have to set your ball down on a hard surface, because then you'll get a flat spot. And then as far as glazing goes, so you can, for bisque fire, you can just throw all your beads in like in either a bisque dish, because I don't want them rolling around in the bisque fire, but they can all be touching. You don't have to use the bead rack for bisque firing. What you might actually could do when you go to fire, so here's the lidded jar we just made. So once these got dried out and you're ready to fire, I would just put them all in here so that they're not rolling around in the kiln. And then after they're bisqued, you can either put a pipe cleaner in here, or what I would do is just put it back on your needle tool or back on your skewer or whatever. And then you just paint your glaze on there. So I would put it back on my skewer so that I could paint the glaze on here, and then I would just set it aside and let it dry. And then you could just transfer it to your bead rack right there. And actually what you might want to do before you bisque is to sand these with like a green scrubby. Once these have totally dried out and gotten bone dry, you just kind of sand them, really nicely polish them, so that you can achieve that nice pearl-like smooth texture. But it'll probably take you several attempts to really get it, as with everything in clay. But I will show you one more thing. So these are your pearl-like beads, but you can also make those. I remember a picture you shared with me, like these chunky looking beads. So for these, I would really use a sharp knife. And it's kind of like ovalish. I might kind of, I don't know. It depends how good your coil is. My coils end up kind of flat. I'm trying to get it really round. I'm going for more circly and less oval-ish. You might have to kind of pinch it into a nice circle shape. So these are that more like rustic looking bead. I mean, there's like a million things you can do with beads. A million different kinds of beads you can make. So that just looks a little bit organic to me. The edges are a little rough. You can kind of use your nail and just kind of rough up the very edge so that it looks a little bit more torn or rustic. You can dot it. You can, okay, you can make some like indentions. Just kind of roll the bead along the needle tool. And so it's so tiny. Whoops. Trying to figure out a good way to show you what's going on here. Whoop. Oh well, you get the idea. Okay, so I think that's about it. So you've got your bead rack and you should be all set for a nice easy glazing and firing. I look forward to your questions and we'll figure this out together. And yeah, I can't wait to see it. Thanks. Bye.